Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Warriors emotionally prepared to move on from Klay Thompson, per Insider. Many are tipping that Klay Thompson leaving the Warriors is a done deal, and ESPN's Zach Lowe thinks that both the team and Klay are bracing for a split. It sounds like they're emotionally prepared for the possibility, Lowe said Wednesday on Get Up. And I think there's some hurt feelings on both sides that need to be mended for this reunion to take place. We're going to know a lot on Friday. June 20th, there's a deadline for Chris Paul's contract to be guaranteed for $30 million or for the Warriors to essentially waive him. In between now and then, the Warriors can work to find trades for Chris Paul that bring back somebody who can help their team. If they bring in another high-price player, it just becomes financially very difficult to keep this whole team together. They don't want to pay this gigantic tax bill for a team that struggles just to make the playoffs. And Klay, everybody needs shooting, he can fit anywhere. It's just a matter of who has the money and the means to go get him and give him what he wants. I look at the Denver Nuggets, for instance. If Kentavious Caldwell-Pope leaves Denver, is that a fit for Klay Thompson? What's his priority? Is it money? Winning? Going back to Golden State? Pelicans guard C.J. McCollum says that Klay's unhappiness with the Warriors largely stems from the fact that he was demoted to a bench role in 2023-24. This may be a big motivator as to why Thompson wants to become a free agent. I think it may be time for both parties to look at other options. I think that's what they're doing right now, McCollum said on NBA Today. You go from arguably the greatest run the game has ever seen, Klay was a huge part of that, with his threes and defense, hitting big shots. To be treated the way he was treated this last year and a half or so, I looked at it as disrespect from the outside looking in. I think he may have taken it that way as well. Steve Kerr told Jim Rohn this week, I want him, Thompson, back desperately. But the more time goes on, the further the Dubs and Klay are from reaching a deal. 5 first-round draft picks that could worry Warriors in West. The first day of the 2024 NBA Draft's new two-day format has come and gone, and several Western Conference teams made smart selections while the Warriors were spectators. In a draft that isn't considered to have star-level talent, there still are plenty of players who should find success at the next level. And a handful of them landed on teams the Warriors play quite often. It didn't take long for conference opponents to improve in a hurry. The Warriors for the first time since 2017 did not have a first-round pick. Unless they trade up, the Warriors will have to wait until the number 52 overall pick to be on the clock Thursday. General Manager Mike Dunleavy and the rest of Golden State's front office still, of course, remained locked in on what maneuvers the Warriors' competition were able to pull off. Here are 5 first-round picks that the Warriors likely took note of, with a handful of others in consideration. The best shooter in the draft is headed to Houston. Shepherd has enjoyed a meteoric rise because of his elite ability to get hot from deep. In his 1 year at Kentucky, Shepherd shot 52.1% behind the three-point line on 4.4 attempts per game. That's a skill the Rockets desperately need to improve. They shot 35.2% on threes last season, which ranked 21st in the NBA. Shepherd also showed out at the draft combine where the 6'2" guard proved to be one of the best athletes in the draft class. Ime Udoka and the Rockets want to compete soon. The Rockets don't expect to be drafting this high again in the near future. They finished 41-41 last season, and are doing what they can to fast-forward their rebuild. Adding Shepherd, whose parents both have strong basketball bloodlines, is a great start for Houston. Will the Blazers suddenly rise up the standings in the West next season? It's unlikely, but the extremely young team is building a group that soon can be a problem. After already adding Denny Avdija from the Washington Wizards in a trade Wednesday that involved the Warriors' original 2024 first-round pick, the Blazers got their guy in the first round of the draft. They liked Klingon after UConn's 2023 championship, and reportedly love him now after the big man anchored back-to-back titles. The 7'2" center put together an historic resume in 2 college seasons. Klingon's defense should translate to the pros right away. The Blazers could now be shopping one of DeAndre Ayton and Robert Williams, or both, but bringing in Klingon clearly is worth it to them. Klingon might have been the safest and surest pick in the draft, and the Warriors now will see him 4 times every season going forward. Warriors trade proposal pairs Steph Curry with $114 million star. With 4 championships in 10 seasons with Stephen Curry at the helm, the Golden State Warriors are looking to retool this summer and make a run for a 5th in 2024 to 2025. Grant Hughes of Bleacher Report argues a trade for Atlanta Hawks guard Dejounte Murray in a June 25 column. Atlanta receives Andrew Wiggins, 2026 second-round pick, via ATL, 2028 first-round pick. Golden State receives Murray. Murray is coming off of his 7th NBA season, and second with the Hawks. He appeared in 78 regular season games, averaging 22.5 points, 6.4 assists, 5.3 rebounds, and 1.4 steals. Atlanta aiming to break up their starting backcourt of Murray and Trae Young has long been reported. And the Warriors have few means of making significant change to the roster outside of Wiggins' salary. One of the more appealing factors to dealing for Murray is the defensive upside. Meanwhile, Golden State onboards a player in Murray who could offset the possible departures of both Klay Thompson and Chris Paul, Hughes wrote on June 25, while shielding Stephen Curry from the toughest defensive matchups. Murray was brought to the Hawks for the same reason. But the 2 Atlanta guards never meshed in their 2 seasons together. According to Cleaning the Glass, in 2,525 possessions with their starting backcourt on the floor, the Hawks were outscored by 6.3 points per 100 possessions, and allowed 123 points per 100 possessions. With just Murray on the floor, the team outscored opponents by 0.8 points per 100, and they allowed 118.3 points per. And with only Young on the floor, the team allowed 119.1 points per, while outscoring opponents by 3.1 points. In short, Murray is an above-average defender who couldn't overcome Young's weaknesses on that side of the ball. Playing next to Curry, a defensive magnet, will help him to refine his scoring and perform better on defense. Murray, as Hughes notes, also erases any concerns over the potential losses of Chris Paul and Klay Thompson in free agency. Paul isn't a free agent though. The 12-time All-Star has a $30 million salary that becomes guaranteed on June 28. Mark Stein reports that Golden State's front office is trying to find a trade for Paul ahead of the 2024 NBA draft. The Warriors, league sources say, have continued to explore their trade options with Paul's trade-friendly contract in conjunction with Wednesday's draft, Stein wrote in a June 24 newsletter. As well as the prospect of pushing the Friday deadline into July if Paul is amenable to that amendment. Paul averaged 9.2 points, 6.8 assists, 3.9 rebounds, and 1.2 steals in 58 appearances with the Warriors. Thompson's case is less one-dimensional. The 12-year veteran, and Curry's only ever backcourt partner, is an unrestricted free agent. Anthony Slater of The Athletic reported that Thompson's negotiations with the Warriors are non-existent. Despite a wide-open negotiation window, there isn't a 1-year, 2-year, or 3-year deal on the table, Slater wrote on June 22. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Dejounte Murray? Leave your opinion in the comments.